morning and welcome to a brand new day, Nigeria. My name is Sharon Enemchuku and I'm welcoming you to Morning Pulse, the pulse of Nigerian politics. Joining me live in the studio, I have with me Ifoma Oji and Mr. Daniel Sacramento. Good morning, how are we all doing?
Good morning.
How you
Good
doing,
to be
Mr.
back
Daniel?
here.
Yes, you're back finally. You enjoyed yourself, I believe.
It's work.
But we still have to find more time to squeeze in some rest here and there.
Maybe one of these days we'll get rest.
All right, and Ifoma, how are you doing? You look beautiful this morning.
I'm very well, as always.
As always.
Yes.
You're giving Clark Kent's girlfriend, though.
Yes, really? Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. And you look good, too.
Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much. Joining us via Zoom, we have our analyst in person of Mr. Oladimidi Oluwafemi. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you guys. How are you doing this week?
We are all
good.
right. Thank you. All right,
You're
we're going straight to the stories that we have for today. It's quite a lot, so we are hitting it hard. President Tinubu is seeking parliamentary approval to raise $2.8 billion, with $2.3 billion via new borrowings and $500 million through a debut sovereign sukuk to plug budget gaps and refinance Eurobonds due in November. But here's the crux. Is it even feasible to mobilize that kind of capital without borrowing? Now we move on to another dramatic turn of events. Geoffrey Uche Nnaji, the Minister of Innovation, has resigned amid allegations of his academic credentials. Specifically, that the University of Nigeria has come out to say that there's no record of issuing him his claimed degree. Now we're also moving on to what's going on with INEC. Professor Mahmood Yakubu has formally bowed out at the end of his constitutionally permitted term. He handed over leadership to May Agbamuche Mbu, INEC Senior National Commissioner, in an acting capacity. And these are the stories that we'll be touching on for this morning pulse, and we're starting with the very first story, and that has to do with our economy and the proposed $2.8 billion that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants to borrow. Now, there is an interesting twist with all of this, and I'm starting with you, Mr. Oladimiji. First of all, how risky is foreign currency? Or do you think issuing a sukuk or diaspora bonds can genuinely lower costs compared to Euro bonds, Mr. Oladimiji?
Euro bonds. What did you call the other one now?
Sukuk.
You said?
The sukuk.
Sukuk, thank you. Look, Euro bonds, sukuk bonds, they are all money instruments that any government can use. Let us not be disillusioned. What we are discussing here is not foreign direct investment.
Okay.
We are discussing pure investment. Portfolio investment allows for government to reach out to individuals, corporate organizations, and sell out bonds to them, sell out securities to them, all these security instruments of investment, and they lend money from them. That's how it is done. And I'm sure that there is no other modality to it. This is the way it will be done by the Tinubu administration. So it is just portfolio investment, and it is very, very short term. It's not a long term investment compared to foreign direct investment. So in this case, I don't know if they tend to raise it, but it is possible that they raise it. The problem is not raising the fund. The problem is, you're going to raise the fund from individuals, financial institutions within the confines of the Republic, all right? And after you borrow this money from the likes of Dangote and all of them, you will invite them to buy these securities, these bonds, and after they purchase these bonds, they give you money. But what do our politicians do with this money?
No, that's the question.
Line, the baseline. Either you borrow, either you raise Euro bond or you raise sukuk bond. By the way, sukuk bond is it's like an Islamic corporate society.
Yes.
Another corporate society. So it's no, I think they don't get rate, they don't
interest.
attach any rate, no
No interest
SDR
rate.
or what have you. But the baseline is this money, what are our leaders doing with it? The problem is not raising funds. I said in one of our programs, previously, that borrowing is part of economic activities. It is not a negative thing. But what you do with what you borrow, for example, in my house here, if I go out, instead of writing a proposal, developing a project, borrow and invest that capital into it to, begin to get streams of, income in that will not just allow me to pay back that loan, principal and rate, but also allow me to earn from it. But what we are doing as a country is we are borrowing and we are cornering these funds and we are sharing amongst ourselves. I'm talking about the microscopic few that are leading and piloting the affairs of this nation, and they are doing so badly that the international community needs to have to pick attention in our situation.
All right, that is correct, Mr. Oladimiji. But the government is saying that they plan to raise the $2.8 billion from non-debt sources. Now, Mr. Daniel, do you think this is possible for the Nigerian government?
Sharon, I'm tired of this Nigerian borrowing money thing because, like I said, this administration has plunged Nigerians into a heavy, serious debt that we don't know when we are going to come out of it. Why? Because the administration have no clear vision of what they want. Because if you have a clear vision of exactly what you need to do. Now, the question I want to really ask, does it mean Nigerian economy is this down that we can't generate our own funds? Why should we always live a life of borrowing? In as much as the other FIRS man came on board and said that borrowing is part of government, we agree. Now, does it mean that every point in time in everything we need to do, we borrow? So can't we just sit down and streamline things? And the level of money that these guys are borrowing,
It's not chicken chicken.
it is not something that we're going to come out of it in 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. Because the level where we are now is terrible. The other time they talked about borrowing money for infrastructure. You need to apply Abuja Road and see how bad all our roads are. You wonder what the Minister of Works is doing.
This one is also for budget and infrastructure. This
So I don't really understand this whole confusion of borrowing, because all we know, when a government begins in your first 2 years, you are living a life of borrowing. In your first 2 years, it means you have an ulterior motive.
Definitely.
And that is the truth about it. Because if all the money that has been borrowed that we Nigerians have started having feel of it, maybe our discussion would be in another direction. So, but as it stands now, borrowing all this money, we are not really seeing it in the economy.
But sorry to cut you short, Mr. Daniel, but the way the federal government framed this, they said that they are seeking the approval now of the assembly to raise $2.8 billion. So I'm asking, do you think they can actually raise $2.8 billion without borrowing? Because when they listed the way they want to,
what is $2.8 billion? Nigerians, the people that have it, have it.
I just think, Sharon, they are raising it through bonds.
Exactly, that's what I wanted to say.
It's still the same thing. Now, even if they call people, now
Now, he said something here that is really worrisome. The fact that they are borrowing all this money and it's not reflecting in the lives of Nigerians. And apart from the fact that it's also not reflecting, they don't carry us along the payment plans, right? You borrow 1.something trillion. You do not tell us, oh, this is the payment plan. This is how Nigeria is planning to pay off this money. Now, Ifeoma, do you see a discrepancy when it concerns the Nigerian government honesty and transparency when it concerns their borrowing portfolio?
There's no honesty here now. Because let me even bring to your notice that Nigeria has borrowed over $40 billion externally. That's for external loans. Then local loans or internal loans is about 90 billion. That's what we are owing. So you could see that they didn't even provide, any explanation as to, okay, this is what we are using it for. They always cover it under the umbrella of infrastructure. And at the end of the day, we don't see deliverables.
Yes.
You understand? There is nothing. I will not even say low productivity, but there is no productivity at all at the end of the day. So there is nothing like, transparency or it's there already. It's there already. We are not seeing any results.
Let me, sorry, something just struck me. Now, you said something that really struck me. You borrow. You do not tell Nigerians. You only tell Nigerians that you want to borrow. How do you intend to pay this money? At least Nigerians should be aware so that we brace up. Because every now and then you hear them infrastructure. It's the only infrastructure that is the only problem.
No, there are lots of other things. Now, Mr. Oladimeji, what do you think will happen to interest and credit rates if borrowing continues to spike like this?
I think that was the inaugural program that we had. How we are still paying. No, it wasn't an inaugural program. I think we're discussing the payback that we did, the 2.3 or 2.8 payback that we did to IMF.
Yes.
So the IMF, yes, International Monetary Fund. Now, I told us that we just take the principal. The interests are still lingering up until 2029, where we are still paying almost 30 million, we're still going to pay $30 million. All right? If we are yet to pay that, how are we sure that we are going to pay out all of this numerous? But look, we are going to borrow from everybody.
Everybody.
So, and you have not been able to exploit these borrowings, expend this money in a judicious manner that we have been able to see the returns from it. So it means that economically looking at it, you are borrowing and you are sunken the fund. And what you are going to do in return is to break the backs of Nigerians to pay back these loans because you are not getting it paid back the way you borrowed it.
Exactly.
When you go to borrow, you arrange your payment plan and you show the world how you intend to pay back. What you intend to do with the money, the year, that's the rate. I mean the period of payment and how you spread. But here we do not have any sight of that. We don't even know, how many years is the duration for the loan and what is the rate, what is the SDR and other associated rates around it. Sharon,
yes.
There is no possibility of paying back these loans. We are not, even these loans, not to talk about the rate at all. We can't pay back these loans if we have squandered them.
No, let me even add something.
It's simple economy. When you borrow and you squander it to pay back, or you are in prison for it as an individual.
So let me just chip in something.
Thank you, Mr. Oladimeji.
These loans that these people acquire, the exchange rate is different from the time you borrow the money and the time you repay the money. Now, let me say, for example, exchange rate now that they borrowed the money is around 1,500 naira. By the time they repay this loan, it will be around 3,000 or 4,000. And what is it going to do? What will be the result on the economy?
The truth is that they should tell us how they want to pay these loans. they are seeking for. And if we have a good House of Senate, a lot of check and balances would have been in place.
And I also have a problem with how quickly they approve.
They approve. That is the thing, because all of them are
involved. When I listened to, when I heard what they were saying when it was ongoing, they were, oh, this is in line with the budget, the Nigerian, all those grammar, and it's just them being very, very quick to approve loans and all of that without actually will I even call it investigative, just doing due diligence at the end of the day. And I just don't know where our economy as a nation is headed to if this is what we have to face month in, month out. Now, we're also going to move on to the next story, Mr. Daniel Sacramento. You were not here where we talked about this the other day. Mr. Oladimiji, I don't know if you were here as well, but we talked about the fact that the Minister for Innovation, in person of Uche, Nnaji, they had a lot of controversies concerning his certificate that he claimed was issued to him from UNN, and UNN came out to say, okay, this is not what happened. They didn't issue him a certificate because although they have a record of him being admitted to UNN, there is no record of him actually, fulfilling the process or the requirements for that particular degree. Now we are seeing that he has resigned. Now, Mr. Daniel, do you think that just resigning is enough, or should there be further prosecution concerning the matter?
Well, on a normal, it's it's forgery, and it has its own consequences. And another thing is, he's not the first. Neither would he be the last. When the former president was around, there were some controversies concerning his certificates. The present administration, there is still controversies surrounding his certificates. So, a snake will never live to give birth to something that is long. You understand? So, the truth about it is that it's quite unfortunate where we found ourselves. Godfrey is a product of bad governance in Nigeria. Because if things are properly done, if the right check and balances, if they want this country to move forward, they know the right set of people to bring on board. This does not need to be friendship thing. It has no reason to be a party thing, just to make sure that my party is in order. It has to be strictly on technocrats. Yes. It has to be strictly on people who professionals, so that the country will move forward. Putting a round peg in a round hole. That's all we need. So definitely, in one way or the other, I would say he's a product of bad. The Nigeria has happened to him as well, because these are things that have been happening in the country. That is the truth about it. It has been happening, and he is not going to be the first. Remember the former Senate president who came on board, House of Rep. Senate President Salisu, that one was Toronto result. Okay. It happened in '99, and later they found out that his Toronto result was not real, and he left. So there are so many.
There are other cases.
Kemi, who was the former Minister of Finance, had an issue. Although hers was in NYSC discharge certificate, she had an issue as well. So there is a lot of controversies because people don't do the right checks and balances before appointments. And
that has to change. Now, coming to you, Mr. Oladimiji, we've seen what has happened currently, and the other sectors in Nigeria as well have people who cannot verify the academic documents. Now, moving forward, what are the systemic reforms you think that we need to include in order to prevent such things from occurring in the future?
Excuse me, Sharon, why do you always often ask me questions around reforms that we need to suggest to this government?
We need to move forward, Mr. Oladimiji, as a nation. We need to move forward.
Listen, Nigerians that are watching, let me tell us this. There is no waking someone who pretends to be asleep. There is no doing that. When someone pretends to be asleep, if you like, shout it tomorrow, you are not waking that person up, because that person isn't sleeping. That person is pretending. We have a pretentious leadership that acts on impulse currently. We have a government that you can't even use as example in our primary school to teach our pupils of separation of power? How do we use a National Assembly who goes to plenary section with cards, owning the insignia and the symbol of the head of the executive? That's the Senate we are. That's the National Assembly we are. The National Assembly that says on a mandate we shall stand when the executive come to present the budget. When they come to present the appropriation bill, they sang on your mandate we shall stand. They didn't just sing it. They add the tune to be played as though it were our national anthem or one of our national symbols. Meanwhile, it's just a political symbol and hype song of one politician in our system. One out of 230 million people. And you fuse the National Assembly into the executive, you fuse the judiciary into the executive, and we have a one-man show. Now, how do you not get bow and go? When you get bow and go, you get the likes of Nnaji.
Nnaji.
Did I pronounce?
Nnaji.
So when you get, this is what you get. And this is rampant these days. I'm an associate student of ICANN. In the last diet, a commissioner of one of our states, a finance commissioner of one of our states, engaged himself in examination malpractices, hired a lady to go write exams on her behalf, on his behalf.
The chartered accountants.
Yes.
So what do that kind of man want to finance over? How is he going to, he's already a compromised fellow. And whatever comes from that ministry is compromised. Because it's not there on merit. Neither is Anna there on merit. Anna went to National Assembly to take a bow, just like all of them did. If we need to begin to do Operation Show Your Certificate, I am sure that out of the 42 of them, 38 will be without certificate.
Definitely.
Mr. Olajimiji. Well, thank you very much, sir. Now, Ifoma, just to wrap it up, now, I've asked Mr. Olajimiji for reforms, and he almost cut my head for always asking him about reforms. But just to give us your take generally, what is your take with the situation of things in Nigeria as it concerns our education and academic qualifications for public officials?
You know, when we talk about our financial reality, I would say we are in ICU. When we talk about education, we are in ICU. Because tell me a country that is trying to position itself as a hub, educational hub, we are seeing situations, we are seeing cases like this. So, to be honest with you, this is embarrassing. It is embarrassing to the core. You asked if this man, if the resignation should be enough. It is not enough. He should be prosecuted. He was appointed in 2023.
Yes.
And who vetted him? Who verified his certifications? Or you just vet him and he resumed office immediately? Why? It's funny that I am asking, you know, such a question, because even the current administration, the president, even have some comma to his own certification. It is, I don't even know how this set of persons, the irony of this whole thing is that this set of persons are still the set of persons that will come out and make educational policies, design educational policies, but they are still the same people that will falsify their results. And I ask myself, what example are they setting for the younger Nigerians? Can you use them as an example? You cannot. And they keep on encouraging the younger generation that education is rubbish. It does not matter. That is a scam. Why are we always discussing about this thing that is not even supposed to be a problem in the first place every single time? Is it that our leaders cannot do the right thing? Is it that our leaders will keep on expecting the masses or the youth to protest before they do the right thing? Come on, it's simple. It's not logic. It's not rocket science.
It is not rocket science, Ifoma, and it's very annoying when we continue talking about issues like this and it seems as though there is no headway. But we cannot give up. We have to keep talking about things like this and see where this leads us in the future. Now, just to wrap it up, we saw how the handover ceremony where Mahmoud Yakubu, that is the now former INEC chairman, was handing over to the new acting chairman in person of Agbamuche. And this is, you know, it had a whole lot of reactions on social media. But one thing that was constant is the fact that a lot of people kept saying that Yakubu would be remembered for overseeing the 2023 presidential election. And I just think that is just, you know, very, very loud. It says a whole lot because the 2023 presidential election has gone down in history for a whole lot of things. According to research and statistics that we have, one of the most unfair elections that Nigeria has seen. But now with the new acting chairman for INEC, there's a whole lot of expectations that Nigerians have concerning and towards her, and we are just hoping that we see a difference even before the INEC chairman is being announced. But, you know, just wrap it up. Is there any contribution you want to make, Mr. Daniel Sacramento?
The contribution is just that this woman is just to hang around a little bit.
Yes,
because definitely she's not going to be the,
yes,
definitely. It has to come from the person that will do the damage in the election, you know. And another thing I want to say is that they should, if the House are sincere enough, they should remove the name that independent electoral commission.
To just national.
To just a national electoral commission, because they are not independent. And we all know they are not independent. Even the person that gave them that knows that they are not independent. So they should remove that. But it wouldn't be a bad thing if the most senior takes over the arms of affairs. That is helping the system. But now they're going to bring in somebody who is going to do the damage.
So she's just acting.
So she's just acting. Yeah. No, she won't even stay up to 1 month there. Heaven knows. She'll be removed because everybody is fighting for the fight of their life. The president has to fight for the fight of his life to make sure that he returns in the second term. That is it.
Battle
so definitely they will need another Mahmoud Yakub who would topple the wishes of the people to come on board. And it has to come from a particular region. And that is it. But if it is a country that wants to write their name in the roadmap, I mean in the map of Africa, or Nigeria, and in the heart of the people, you allow the ranks to flow. Let the most senior take over. The same attitude they do in police, in military. Yes. You now retire people who have maybe 5 years more. You retire them against their junior. You see why the system in this country does not work. No matter how you want to force it, this is what we get. They keep talking about federal character. There's no federal character. We have personal character. That's what we have. There's nothing like federal character. So the woman there is, to me and to many Nigerians, we know it's just a ceremonial handover.
It's ceremonial for the time being.
For the time being.
Okay.
Maybe before the week runs out. Or
week? Mr. Oladimeji, well, what are your comments, sir?
Mr. Radley said it. She's just standing in for spending the time that the scouts or who can do maximum damage, according as Comrade Sacramento has said, is found. Or who knows if she's been interviewed and she's up to the task. Because she's always been part of the system for a while, and she knows all the nitty and gritty as it involves the National Electoral Commission. Because I will go with Comrade Sacramento from now. I think there is nothing independent in INEC. There's nothing independent, sorry, scratch that. There's nothing independent in NEC. If the president who partakes in the process appoints No, I think I think something is wrong with the system in this country. You cannot be a judge and the jury.
Exactly.
Okay. Now you are contesting an election and you're going to take part. I mean, you're going to singularly appoint the person who spearheads the management of the process. It is no brainer for me if you appoint me as the apex man, in office of the country, that I will not dance to your tune. It is normal phenomena. It is natural that you appoint, especially when we have institutions very weaker than strong men in this country. Men are stronger than institutions in the country. So you're going to put someone there who dances to the tune of the president eventually.
Yes.
So we must change the process.
We have
Change the
to.
way this appointment is. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Oladimiji. We must change the process of, appointing INEC chairman and all of that. But Ifoma, do you also think, that they should remove the independence from NEC?
Yeah, they should remove the independence and remove that eyes from that ego.
Oh.
Yes, it doesn't. It's not
or maybe
seen.
they can put a blindfold.
They don't see anything. It does not see anything. Yes, a blindfold will be better because they are blind to a lot of situations happening in Nigeria. But if I'm to approach this, constitutionally under the section 306 of the 1999 Constitution, it's kind of admits or gives permission for a handover of someone that is a senior officer. So she has been in the system. She knows the bolts and the nuts in the system. What concerns elections. So she is the person or better person that should be appointed for this particular position. But like they said, she is just an acting. So it's more like ceremonial. But at the same time, we'll still see how it pans out as regards to how she will perceive criticisms, how she will reform INEC, because we have been talking a lot about, INEC reformation.
If they will not give that.
So we are going to calm down now. So I say we are going to see if she will listen to the agitations of the poor masses. If she doesn't, we'll still see at the end of the day. So
at the end of the day.
Yes, what you are saying is if
yes,
she
now
gives
if am I supposed to say that she
take my words. Nobody is giving her that if. Before the end of this week or next week, you will hear that it has been removed.
Mr. Daniel is so certain.
I'm just telling you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Daniel Sacramento, Ifoma Oji, and Mr. Oladimiji Oluwafemi for joining me in the conversation today. What a beautiful conversation. Now, to our viewers, we've discussed from the $2.8 billion loan that Mr. President wants approved, and we also talked about Uche Nnaji's certificate and how he has been, how he has resigned, and finally the new appointed acting INEC chairman and all the controversies and expectations that surround that. All of these discussion is pointing to one thing: Nigeria has to make the right choice come 2027. So issues like this will not keep resurfacing. But anyways, thanks again for joining us. If you're yet to subscribe, please endeavor to do that. If you're also yet to follow us across all social media platforms, please do that. Find us at Active Citizens. You can find me on my personal page at Sharon Enemchuku. And you?
You can find me on Facebook at Oji Sophia and on Instagram at Miss Alex.
Mr. Oladimiji.
You can find me on X at Pivot Oladimiji. Thank you.
All right, and Mr. Daniel will always be in the studio. Till we see you this afternoon for Acid Hot, where we discuss lighter, entertaining stories. Do have a good morning.